Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I want to call the Parks and Environmental Committee to order on December the 2nd, 2021 at 9:00 a.m. Ms. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Peel.
Here.
Chairwoman Boyd.
Here.
5 present, you have quorum.
Thank you. We need approval of the minutes dating November the 10th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Would Ms. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Peel.
Aye.
Chairwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Sorry, aye.
Thank you. Alderwoman Martin. Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. 5 aye votes.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't have any board bills to review. Alderwoman Navarro helped us understand that part. And we have resolutions, so we are now looking to review resolution 123. Does anybody have any discussions or comments on that resolution? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Alderwoman Tyus, you're on mute.
Okay, I said you can't see my hand. I'm trying to do it the right way.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, I want to make, I don't know which one, so I want to make a record that I'm going to oppose all of these resolutions until we get resolved my situation about berms in Penrose Park. I am just irritated with Kim Hagley about her rude manner in which she summarily dismissed me about when I asked for berms in Penrose Park. When I didn't see them in the in the report that I got back, I sit back and said, well, where's the berms? They're out. That's not how you talk to an alderperson. Most certainly not how you talk to the most senior alderperson at the city hall. And then this thing about that it's going to be a maintenance cost. Everything I do in the park, there are maintenance costs. And they have not to this day given me a good reason why I can't put berms in a park to protect my neighborhood housing. So I am going to be making a big fuss about that. And that makes no sense. And then what Ms. Hagley is going to find out is the mayor's office is going to contact you because you don't know who you're dealing with. And you need to stop being so rude and dismissive and to have conversations with older people when you want to take something out, not just tell me it's out. I'm appalled at your response.
I can, this is Greg Hayes. I can weigh in. Sorry, I better take my mask off. Alderwoman Tyus, I definitely have received your comments. And Kim and I have discussed the berms. And I did see her email that she had sent to you prior, Kim, and we're always here to communicate with elected officials on Capitol Park projects. We try to make a concerted effort on a daily basis to make sure we're in consistent communication so there's no gray area. And Kim, would you care to comment on just the most recent discussion we had about the berms? And we're here to work with you, Alderwoman Tyus, and I feel we're here to work with the entire board.
And I felt that I've worked with forestry probably better than any other alderperson and been your advocate. And I don't like that I received, when I give you $140,000 of my money, I don't expect to be just summarily dismissed.
I would like to apologize to Alderman if you...
Alderwoman.
I'm sorry, Alderwoman, that was not my intent at all. It never is. You and I have always had a good working relationship. So I'm sorry if something that I said irritated you.
Go look at your email.
I read
writing.
the email. I know.
You sent me back when I asked about what happened to my berms. It's out. That is not a proper way to, explain to me, say, what is it? I still don't understand. I've been doing rehab since 1979, and we put berms on stuff all the time. It's not that great of maintenance because you put a ground cover over it, you put mulch over it. It might be a little trimming. It doesn't make sense to what you're saying. You got to make sense to me.
I think that's a conversation that you and I can have offline.
Okay.
I thought I did do some explaining, but definitely I'll reach out to you and we can, maybe we're not on the same page because I was not thinking ground cover. So I think you and I just need to, or I need to understand where you're coming from.
And then as I told you before, you're going to find out it goes much higher than me. So I'm trying to give you a hint. Get off of this, okay? And we're going to put a berm there. And then when you understand that, you'll say, okay, Alderwoman Tyus was looking out for me. So I'm going to leave that alone and I'm going to move on. But I just do not like when you just tell me this is out. And I don't think you should tell any alderperson that. I think that you let them know, well, this is what I'm thinking, and then they can have a conversation with you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm done. Sorry, Madam Chair.
One other comment for Alderwoman Tyus and Commissioner Hagley. When we send correspondence, I contend we have the utmost respect in mind and with no malicious intent whatsoever or disrespect. Hindsight, sometimes the wording or the verbiage in an email, maybe didn't come across as it should or shouldn't, and a choice of words, a alternate choice of words could have been used. So if there's any offense taken, I certainly apologize myself, and I know Kim has as well. We want to maintain an excellent relationship that we've always had, and I think we stop it short at nothing to do that, and I'm confident that will continue.
I am too, and I continue to advocate for forestry because I know the job and parks and recreation that you do. And so I advocate up to the mayor's office all the time about you guys, and you know it, okay? Whatever the mayor's been, the last 6 mayors, I've been doing that, okay? So if it's really something that can't be done, I accept. But again, the other thing that, and I want to make it clear, Northside Parks have not received nearly the money that Southside and Central Quarter, and I've been collecting this data for a very long time. So when you give me an excuse that it's going to be a little extra maintenance cost, that's not a good excuse for me, because we'll sit down and look at the money that's spent in other parts of the city versus what's spent in North St. Louis, and we never get the same money. So I don't care if it costs a little bit of extra maintenance, but if we can do it where it doesn't even cost any, I'm all aboard with that. So with that, I'm done. I am going to support these resolutions, but I would again encourage you, before you tell an alderperson it's out, that you actually have conversation with them so you can understand where they're going, okay?
Thank you very much for your support, Alderwoman.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Tyus, we know you are the senior alderperson and you speak language that a lot of the newbies do not understand. So could you please explain to us berms?
So berms are these big hills that a lot of times you'll see surrounding if you build new housing, and they'll put trees on top of it, and it is a way for soundproofing. It is to keep soundproofing. In Penrose Park, if you drive down Kings Highway, you will see 2 brand new two new houses sitting almost like right down in Penrose Parks. They're actually on a street. If I had my druthers, if I had not been racially profiled, they wouldn't have been built there. But there actually are some new houses down there on a street called Albert. And so it sits right by the park. We need a parking lot in the park. To put the parking lot, that's going to be near houses. So what you do to keep soundproofing is you build up, it's really mounds of dirt or rock or whatever, and you put dirt and ground cover or you put mulch, and then you put trees, an assortment of trees. A lot of times you put evergreens, and as that gets bigger, that keeps the noise and the people away from the housing, whereas you still allow us to have a parking space in Penrose Park so that they're not right by the people's houses. But it does really help soundproofing. And we've done that on a number of projects that I've done over the years. And especially as the trees grow, and I'm a tree person anyway, I'm a tree hugger. I've probably planted about 5,000 trees in my ward. And, it just keeps that soundproofing, and it keeps people from being over in people's homes and the noise and things like that. And also, besides the soundproofing, it will provide a natural barrier fence, which I like better than chain link and all of that. I love the green fencing.
Okay, thank you. Did anybody have any other questions in regards to the resolutions?
I was just going to make a comment.
Okay.
Just that for the maybe the newer people in the committee that may or may not understand. So what these resolutions do is, if you read through them, it says what money is going to go to what park. It doesn't go back to the full board of aldermen. Once this committee passes this out, it frees up the money, and hopefully things get started in the different parks. And I would say, it's because I get frustrated too. I mean, whether it's parks, or whether it's in particular forestry, that I get really frustrated about. But what these resolutions do is should free up the money so that hopefully some of the projects will get started in the different parks. And that's just an explanation, so everyone understands how what this process does. It does not go back to the full board.
Thank you, Alderman Vaccaro. Alderwoman Navarro, Alderwoman Tyus, were you finished?
I'm sorry, I'm lowering my hand right now. I'm so sorry.
Alderwoman Navarro, you had a comment, a question?
I was just asking, are you just asking for comments or questions on 123 right now, or all of them?
All of them.
Okay, I just wanted to bring up in 124, the listing of parks, and I'm sorry I didn't see this earlier, but it lists Kennedy Park, I think, as a 28th Ward park, and it's I believe it's an 18th Ward park.
Yep, it is.
So I just wanted to clear that up so we can move that into the right line item on that chart. So I don't know if that's, if Kim or Greg can do that. And then I just wanted to ask, in general, do we have an easy way, and if you can just direct me somewhere, that's great, in terms of how much money is spent on parks north and south of Del Mar? And I know it's hard because there's different funding pots and there's ward capital, and so I understand if there's not an easy way to pull it together, but is there some chart that we can easily be pointed to get an idea of how much taxpayer money is going to the various parks?
Alderwoman Tyus, you were going to answer that. I had a question.
I was going to answer it.
Okay.
So I actually have put together an Excel file, because I've been, and you can get them from the budgets. I've had Paul Payne been sending me since I was here when we first put these things together. So I actually know what dates to look for. So I have been putting it together. There's only a hole in a few years back while I was gone, but I've been putting it together, and I'm going to send it to the full board because it is appalling. And I was opposed to the way we passed these. We went to the public and passed these taxes anyway. And now all these years later, you see how appalling it is. Forest Park has more money given to them than all the other parks put together. But in North St. Louis, it's very small. I will share with you what I've gathered so much. And then as I get the rest of it, I will share with everybody here. It just made me sick to my stomach, but I knew that this is where it was headed. Because we based it on acreage when we put it out to a vote. And actually Freeman Bosley passed it, which we tried to ask him not to, but it really had been written by Vince Shamer. And so they based it on an acreage, and then they didn't add other parks into the North St. Louis part. So just with the large parks alone, it's a big difference. But then when you add the other things, which we came back and we did other parks, we did a couple of more bills that we sent out, ordinances that we sent out to the city. And so it's just an inordinate amount. Like I said, just appalling. So I will send you what I have so far. And Paul is still giving me, he's sending me the places where I have gaps in them. And then we need to look at that holistically, because we need to change that, because it's really unfair. So I'll send it to you by the end of the day of what I have so far. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I would definitely be interested in seeing that. And I don't know if that's, I guess you're thinking about you're talking about the tax that's dedicated to Forest Park, correct? Because there's not ward capital really. I mean, I think there's a little bit that goes to planting some trees along the edges or something like that. But, and I think the city pays the electric bill at the park, I believe, or Kim regret, utilities. But I mean, you're not talking about all, or are you looking at all of the private funding as well?
No, I'm not looking at private funding. I'm looking at tax dollars. And so when it was going on, we said, hey, add some more North St. Louis parks, because we're not getting any money. And you'll see that right away. But not only that, Lyda Cruson in her, I would say she was very unwise. She took our ward capital and gave it to Forest Park. When the president of the board when he was trying to do the thing for the airport, and he put the budget on the informal calendar, let it go into being, Alderman Vaccaro and Alderwoman Boyd had been calling me. So I actually had written up amendments to the budget to take because they took ward capital and she put it into and gave it to Forest Park, which I just think is a giant mistake. And I think we ought to take our money back. Forest Park gets enough money. So actually on top of that, we took and gave ward capital money from all the wards to Forest Park. That's a mistake.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have any further questions, Alderwoman Tyus. I do just want to, yes, like I said, I would definitely be interested in seeing that. And the other thing I just want to point out, Forest Park and our large parks are also destination parks. We've got the neighborhood parks and then the larger parks that so I think looking at this in terms of acreage, in terms of who's being served, I think all of that would be really great to look at. So I definitely will appreciate seeing those numbers and doing some analysis, because this has been a big topic of concern for many years, as Alderwoman from the 1st has brought up, and many others, just in terms of disparity in our parks. And I do want to just point out, I really appreciated the tour that we took that the chairwoman lined up maybe a month or so ago, and seeing the different parks. And I know we have over 100 parks and we only visited maybe 5 or so that day. But I do want to point out that I saw some really beautiful, wonderful parks on the north side of the city. And I saw struggling parks on the south side of the city. And so I think really when we look at the disparity, it's really important to get out there and see the changes that have happened in recent years. And I do want to thank the Parks Department for the work that they are doing. And I appreciate this dialogue to make sure that we are putting our resources, putting them out there to support our parks equitably. So thank you.
Alderwoman Peel.
Thank you, Chairwoman Boyd.
You're muted.
Thank you, Chairwoman Boyd. I just wanted to add, and thank you, Alderwoman Navarro. Thank you, not Chair, but Alderwoman Tyus. Would I be able to get that?
I'm going to send it to the whole Parks Committee.
Oh, you're going to send it? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Everybody have their hands down. I'm sorry, Alderman Vaccaro, you had a question or comment?
Just one comment, and maybe even just a shout out to the Alderwoman from the 28th. I was glad to see on the news after 14 years of asking that they are now putting basketball in Forest Park and in Tiger Grove Park. We put that in the park in our neighborhood and found that it's been actually a good thing. We said we need to provide things for people to do, rather put a basketball in their hands rather than guns, and found that in our neighborhood it's actually been really well. It wasn't well received when we did it, but it's been well received, and people understood that it's actually been a great great place for young, old, black, white, and a lot of pickup games. And so I was glad to see that. And I know you had said they're working on that at the board meeting. And, you know, I think that's going to be, I think they're going to find that it's going to be a great addition to those parks. Anyway, I didn't want to let the meeting go by without that. And you know, like, congratulations on for working on that. And I will put my hand down now. And Alderwoman Tyus has her hand up. Alderwoman Boyd, you're muted there.
Thank you. I'm sorry. On that note, people need to understand Forest Park, even though they're going to put basketball hoops in that park, is different from our parks, because as Alderman Vaccaro said, they do pickup games. They're not going to be able to do that in Forest Park. They're going to have to sign up or apply to use that area, because it's other areas that they have, like baseball and stuff. People can't just go there. They have to sign up or something. It's a process for Forest Park. And if I'm off, tell me, Alderwoman Navarro. But I think it's a process before. You can't just do a pickup game in Forest Park.
Alderwoman, if I don't want to interject in front of Alderwoman Navarro, did you want to comment on that? Because I certainly can.
Greg, you're in a better position to respond, so go for it.
Yes, with all due respect, Chairwoman, the intention would not be the prospect of putting basketball courts in Forest Park. There would be absolutely no intention to have those courts be permit only. Okay. Yes, there'll be a high likelihood that folks will want to have a really nice sanctioned tournament with basketball, which they'd have a permit, and it'd be an event with either youth basketball, high school basketball, adult basketball. So yes, just like any park amenity, you can go up and sit in picnic ground 2 here when you enter Forest Park and sit and have a picnic and enjoy yourself. But if Pam Boyd, Alderwoman Boyd, has a permit, yes, when you come at noon today, that's your pavilion. But yes, there will be permitting, but there will also be every intention of having open play. You may be referring to one of the things outside, just behind my office window, are 2 nice baseball fields that are permitted. And no, we don't allow pickup games on them because we want to maintain those baseball fields. But we have 6 other fields behind those to the east that we see people play on and have fun. But yes, there are permitted activities, but there will be open play. Forest Park would be no different than any other basketball court in the city of St. Louis.
Okay, thank you for that clarity.
Certainly.
Alderwoman Tyus, unfold your arms.
No, I'm cold.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What I wanted to say, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Joe, the Alderman from the 23rd, because he has been pushing this issue about basketball in Forest Park. But I do want him to know it precedes you. We started pushing this issue in the 90s when we first formed Forest Park Forever. And if you search the papers, you will see that Alderwoman Sharon Tyus' 20th ward then raised a lot of heck about there not being basketball. We have to stop putting lipstick on a pig. It was not done because people were scared to have basketball in Forest Park because those big black kids would be in the park. It was racism. Clear as you can be. It was racism. We put every kind of sports in Forest Park. I mean, what is the thing, Jai or whatever it is, any kind of sports that was, people didn't even hardly play in the city except for basketball. And that was very plain and clear. We also did not have Forest Park used to be, so you all need to know this, used to be in other wards. It wasn't always in the 28th ward. And so it was snatched up under the 28th ward. And then when we put Forest Park together, again, a lot of the people who were on there did not live in North St. Louis, other parts of the city, and they used exclusionary tactics. And so I am happy for the Alderman from the 23rd ward because he has been a leader in saying that's BS. So I applaud you for that. I applaud you for putting basketball courts in the 23rd Ward, how people get rid of racism and scary tactics and stereotypes is that you have to have people, black and white, who are willing to say, this is not okay. So I just really want to thank you for that. I do want to thank the Alderman from the 28th Ward for picking up your mantle and carrying it also. But I do appreciate, because sometimes racism has to be faced by white people and say, this is not right. So I just really want you to know I appreciate you for that. Okay, on that note, now are we ready to take a vote on resolution 123?
I will make a motion that we don't have to pass it out, but we pass board bill, resolution 123.
Second. Previous roll.
Well, we don't.
No,
we do have a previous roll from.
I think more people have joined us though.
Oh, so object to previous roll then.
So Ms. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Morton.
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Peel.
Aye.
Chairwoman Boyd.
Aye.
6 aye votes.
Thank you. Now can we vote on resolution 124?
I'll make a motion. We pass board bill 124.
Second.
Resolution 124.
Second, previous roll.
Previous roll, and I'll see there's no objections to previous roll. Could we do 125?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We pass resolution 125.
Second.
In previous roll.
Thank you very much. Do I have any discussions in regards to the Parks and Environmental Committee at this time? Does anybody have anything?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Any announcements?
Hello. I'm fine. You 600 people too late.
Chairwoman, can I ask a question or make a comment?
I'm sorry, because my husband's answering the phone. Sharon's husband's answering the phone. And
That's right, and don't mess with him either.
Really?
Whether you're talking about.
Right. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, I commend you. I may be mistaken, but you may have been the individual who spearheaded as chairwoman the park tours that were alluded to or referenced by at least Alderwoman Navarro, maybe a few others on the committee. I just want to tell you we're extremely proud of our 110 parks and the folks that work in them. So if you found that to be beneficial, we thought it was mutually beneficial to take that tour. We would be more than happy to select some other parks, or actually the committee select some parks and do a mini tour again, 4 or 5, where we spend 3 or 4 hours doing that. Now the holidays probably be problematic for everyone and the cold weather. But perhaps in the spring, early spring, after the new year, we're more than welcome, Kim and I, to take that same tour and visit any parks you'd like. So thank you for those comments earlier.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, excuse all the persons. We excuse all the person with necessary absence. And I will ask to adjourn the meeting. Could I say one thing before we do that? I just wanted to thank Alderwoman Tyus, because I studied how she runs her meetings. So I'm really trying to do those meetings like I'm supposed to. And when I still look at myself as the new kid, so I'm trying to learn how to properly run the meeting. So thank you very much, because it helped me a lot. So, okay, Alderwoman Vaccaro.
I would just, I agree with you for one, but anyway, I'm making that motion that we get to go home. We'll adjourn the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Our meeting for Parks and Environmental Matters is adjourned.
Have a great holiday season, everyone.
You too. Thank you.
Take care.